We're live. Welcome back, Allison. It has been a long time since we've been live.
I'm
Where have you?
excited to be live.
Well, really, where have you been? Where have you been? We've all been missing you in the lives. What's going on with your outfit?
I think this shirt looks better on me than you. I really do.
I do like the shirt. It's mine though. And even if it looks better on you, it's mine. I don't share well.
How can we tell when people are joining?
I think we just start talking. There's 4 people watching right now in the top corner here. You could see.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the book club. We're really excited to do Next to Heaven by James Frey. And I learned today in my research that he had AI help him write the book. Did you know that?
No, he did.
Well, that's what some of the complaints were about it.
So he did not acknowledge this. This is just people on the internet saying that he used AI.
I wasn't floozy enough to figure it out. But no, it was like articles about how he used AI. But you hadn't heard that? James Frey, tells the truth when you can. Anyway, let's talk about. Hi.
Why don't we give a quick, do you know the history about James Frey?
I think you do.
Do you?
I don't know.
So James Frey, I'm going to butcher the dates, but James Frey wrote a book that he was super famous for called A Million Little Pieces. This is back, I think, when I was in college or high school,
I feel like I
like
read
25 years ago. So it was a memoir about him coming off of addiction, and it was a spectacular book. And it got really famous. He got lucky enough to go on to Oprah, and it was one of like Oprah's favorite, how Oprah does, Ugg slippers and whatever her favorite things. Well, this is one of her favorite things and one of her top books. And then it came out, and it turned out that it was not a memoir, but that he had created it as a novel, but had sold it as a memoir. And Oprah was really dissatisfied, brought him back onto the show, and just attacked him for the entire episode.
I mean, do you really think Glennon Doyle everything was true in her memoirs? Multiple.
I don't know. But Glennon Doyle's writing is, I should say it this way. I don't think that Glennon Doyle's writing is as compelling as James Frey's writing is, or as provocative. So her stories are not as crazy. Like his stories were really remarkable. Anyway, he became like a pariah in the publishing world. But he kept, so he came out, he made a shit ton of money on this book. Turns out that it wasn't a memoir, it was a novel. The book's still fantastic, but he had like the scarlet letter in the publishing world. But then he goes on to write other books like My Best Friend Leonard, A Bright Shiny World. I think that's what it's called, Bright Shiny World. All of which I've read, all of which are fantastic. And so it feels like everything comes out and it's a bestseller, but everybody kind of hates him. And I like the fact that everybody hates him, and I love his writing style, which is why I wanted us to do a different flavor for this book club.
Why did they hate him? Because they thought it was a memoir, but it wasn't?
Because, yeah, they thought that he cheated. He said it was a memoir, and it wasn't a memoir. It's cheating. So he has this fantastical story, and everyone's like, oh, my God, I can't believe it's real. Well, it wasn't real. So he lied.
Yeah. Cheated is the right word, maybe, because I feel like to come up with the content has to be hard. If it was like actual life, it'd be less hard.
Yeah. Can I just play devil's advocate for him?
Yeah.
He says that when he wrote the book, it was intended to be a memoir, and his publisher said, he says when he wrote the book, it was intended to be a novel. It was intended to be fiction. And then his publisher goes, this is great. This is loosely based on your life. Let's make it a memoir, and we can market it much better. And he goes, first time author, he goes, okay, let's do that. Okay. Then and then it starts to snowball and gets out of control. And then Oprah takes it, and Oprah it just becomes so popular that it goes front and center.
I mean, Oprah doesn't know everything because she hangs out with P. Diddy sometimes.
Okay, so here's his comment about Oprah. Is Oprah I think there's a lot of reasons why Oprah has been less than sincere about her own behavior and her own relationships and her own business decisions. And I read a thing from him when he was saying he couldn't believe that he was sitting there and Oprah is going like, I can't believe that you would ever lie. How could you ever not tell the whole truth to the entire world? I don't understand how you could do that. And Oprah operated from a place of like, she was like indignant over the fact that he had misled people. And he feels like that Oprah is not always the plumb line for truth.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's what I get it that people don't like him. I think he's a fantastic author, and I think the writing is incredible.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the book?
I do.
Well, so we read this on vacation.
Kate seems to have a lot of perspectives about this. I didn't realize how much Kate had talked. Kate, are we missing? Jeez. Kate, what's the point that we're missing? Yeah. Kate, I think you have more energy about his lying than I do. Why? Here's a question for everybody. Does it really matter if the work is good and the work is entertaining, which is the purpose of the writing? Does it matter who the author is and how truthful the author is?
No, I think we're here to discuss the book, not the history of him. I feel like we went off onto a tangent about, no, I don't think it really matters. And I feel like we are missing the point, Kate, because we're here to talk about the book, not his like beef with Oprah.
Excuse me, it's a huge part of him. I disagree because I think we're not in the know in the moment. You don't have the same energy around it.
I don't have a lot of energy around it.
Kate does.
Sorry, Kate.
Kate, I disagree with you, but I like that you have the energy for it. All right, Allison, why don't you take over? Let's lead the book club. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we read this on vacation, and what are your initial thoughts? Because I have had some lasting thoughts. I had a hard time reading the book from my mind.
So I think that he does a really good job of developing characters. I think he does a very good job of communicating emotion. And so when he describes the characters, and this is true for all of his books, when he describes emotion or like somebody's motivation, I think he does I thought it was a rich book. And the premise of the book I thought was fantastic. I mean, do you want me to give a summary of the book? What are you wanting me to say?
Well, what was the premise of the book that you're saying? That was fantastic.
No, the character.
It was a little, like Trump.
Okay, first of all, you are running this book club, and all you do is say, well, "What do you think?" And then you judge what I say.
You didn't say anything.
So the story is that the book takes place in Connecticut in a small town, super rich people, and it's really about how these really rich people are dissatisfied in their lives, or they're super ambitious, and they just are walking around like unchecked ids, and they decide that they're going to have I don't know what you call it, like a swingers party. And so the two of the wives who are in relationships figure out, well, who are the other people that are going to who would join this party. And so they create, it's a 6-person party. There's 3 couples, I think, or 4 couples. And all of the characters have a different plot line, how they got through their gut, and it ends in murder. And so the whole time you're reading the book, you're trying to think about, well, who would have the motivation and the wherewithal to kill somebody as a consequence of this party. Yeah. I still remember that the very first line of the book is one of the wives looking at their husbands and saying, I've been married to this guy for whatever it is, 30 years, and I want to punch him in his rotten fucking face. And you look over to me and you go, I can relate to that.
I didn't say that.
That is what you said. That's a quote. Mm-hmm.
So you think the book was fantastic?
Hmm?
Those are your initial thoughts. What are others that read the book? Did you guys have any initial thoughts about it? While you guys are typing in your initial thoughts in the chat, I would say that my initial thoughts were I like the darkness of
Kate is pissed.
What is she mad about? The book?
She's mad about the book, and she then thinks that Kate, what? I don't understand the vitriol here. Yeah, Linda, Kate, you're killing my buzz. All right.
Okay,
all right.
what do you
I
do?
spilled my coffee.
Let's agree that him lying is shitty. People that lie in general are shitty.
Yeah, but he lied almost 30 years ago, for the record.
But I feel like when you give it time, you like have been giving things a time frame of like 4 years ago, 30 years ago. It doesn't make it any better. It still hurts the same to some people, specifically Kate.
Well, maybe we need to let things go. All right. He just wrote a book and lied about the book. He was pushed by his publisher. He didn't know what he was doing. Whatever. I will argue with Kate because Kate said, "What would you say if a psychologist lied?" Well, it's lied about what? But I think it's different than writing a book, a piece of creative work versus a therapist. Okay, go ahead. Say what? Why did you agree that you wanted to do this book? It was provocative to you, right?
Well, no, I mean, I read this book because you picked it out and you were like, I'm going to pick out a book. I have to say, I feel like there's less interest in this book than our previous books, the ones that I pick out.
All right.
But I have to say, like, I reading the book, I had a hard time with the characters because I feel like their values weren't very good. And so, like, then it made me think the people I'm surrounded by have similar values to the people in the book. And then I was like, I like couldn't believe that people were that horrible to each other and their friends. And so I had a hard time with that book letting it go. I did enjoy the book and I read it all, but I feel like throughout the whole book, I kept telling you, like, these are really bad people, all of them.
Do you think that there's an odd jump that you made there? The characters that in this time he said this is a made-up book. The characters in this book are amoral. So therefore, the people I actually hang out with in my real life are also amoral. That's a massive leap.
Well, it just opened my eyes because, like, you only get what people put in front of you, right? You don't know like all the stuff that's happening in their back in the background. Like for example, they're all hockey parents. They're all sitting on the sidelines. They're all fighting with the coaches, and then they're all sleeping with each other.
Yeah.
What if we were the one family that wasn't sleeping with all of each other on the soccer field?
I'd be very offended. I would be very offended. Let's just for the record. I wouldn't do it, but I would like the invite. I don't want to be like the one couple where everybody's like, oh, don't want to involve them. I'd like to be invited. Now, Allison, think about it this way. The fact that you read the book and it was so realistic that you could understand why people were behaving the way that they were behaving, even though you thought the behavior was atrocious, tells you that the writing was very good. You believed the characters, that he normalized their world enough that it made you forget about your own world.
Yes.
That's a good book. That's excellent.
I know, but I don't like to have that type of anxiety when I'm trying to read on vacation.
But isn't it better to read a book like that makes you feel something versus 6 tips to better sleep?
No, because
that's what
I like the tips. Okay. Well, in the end, we read the book and we both enjoyed it. It doesn't sound like anyone else read the book because no one's actually writing about the book in the chat.
Well, I guess that Kate, I feel like Kate hasn't been heard. I want Kate to feel heard so she's not so angry. Kate, I'm sorry that you're so upset about this.
But did you read the next book? Can we talk about the book at hand?
Yeah. All right. Well, Kate likes. Thank you, Kate. All right. So ask, what did you want to talk about in the book club?
Well, What do you think? Who was your favorite character?
Billy McAllister.
He was so awful.
Well, like for a character, he was by far the most. I mean, who's the best character would probably be the. I'm looking at your list. I can't remember all the people, but the best guy was the guy that couldn't rise to the occasion.
Well, he was the best guy.
Yeah.
But like I didn't understand why they had such a troubled marriage, because they were like best friends. And they like connected with each other, and then he couldn't rise to the occasion. Only with someone he met at the party could he. With not the woman he raised 3 daughters with. What happened there?
So why don't we do it this way? Why don't we talk about each of the couples and talk about what might be happening? That might be an interesting way to do it.
Okay.
So do you know who the couples are?
Yes.
Okay, so give me a couple. Let's talk about the couples.
Devin McAllister and Billy McAllister.
Okay, so Devin McAllister. So these are 2 super rich people, right?
Well, she's well educated. She grew up like an heiress, but then her parents, or generational wealth, but then her parents spent all the money, and she was told that she needed to find a husband to figure out how to take care of them as well. So she knew that when she was looking for her mate.
Okay. So it was a pragmatic decision to marry. She was searching for Billy. She didn't get into the relationship for love. She got it because she's like, I need someone who can support myself and my family.
Correct.
Okay. And Billy wanted a hot piece of tail. Right?
Yes.
That was the main goal for Billy. And it's interesting. So Billy, the reason why I like Billy is he is this super powerful hedge fund manager. Then he's a caricature of like the worst people that we think of in society. So someone who is uber wealthy, but he's gotten his wealth by cheating the system. He does all kinds of drugs, does prostitutes. He has a phone. Like, I just think it's fun. He has a phone, which is like his normal phone, and then a phone he calls the war phone that is used for his like drug deals and shady interactions. He's like a fun caricature of a totally awful person.
Yes, and he's mean, and he is aroused by hurting people physically.
So when he's engaged in
so that's your favorite character.
Lovemaking, it's very aggressive.
That's your favorite character.
He's not the character that I like the most, like as a person, but if I was an author, like I like characters like that, like dark, odd, nuanced characters. I like that.
Okay. He was dark, odd, and nuanced.
Was he your least favorite character?
Yes.
Okay.
He was so scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So any thoughts about that? Do you think that exists?
I mean, probably.
Like the idea of a couple getting together where one person finds a super rich guy for pragmatic reasons exists. And I think it does exist that you have people, men, that are motivated by sex and motivated by achievement and will do horrible things to get the sex and the achievement that they want. Right? So that exists.
Yeah, I feel like we've been seeing some of that in our culture as of late.
What are you talking about? What are you referring to?
Like Jeffrey Epstein or P. Diddy.
I think it's funny. I didn't even put that together, but think about P. Diddy. Whatever we know about P. Diddy, right? Those are he has a lot and will use power and manipulation to hurt people and get what he wants. Yeah, you could substitute P. Diddy for Billy McAllister.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay.
Then you have, I don't know if you can hear our kids are fighting in the background.
Do you want me to go?
No, keep going.
Okay, so the next couple that is Belle and Teddy.
Yep.
And they are she is Devin's best friend. So Devin McAllister's best friend. Belle is also very wealthy. and she married Teddy, and they're kind of boring to me because she's just kind of horny all the time. And
there are worse things. There are worse things.
And Teddy is like, they don't really develop him except that he's a successful private equity person that also has erectile dysfunction just for his wife.
Yeah, he has, I think, anxiety driven. I mean, the implication in the book is that because his wife moves through the world the way that she does and just wants sex and is super horny and sort of objectifies him and others, that's not arousing to him. He's looking for a deeper connection. I found him to be a boring character.
Yeah.
He's a better person than Billy McAllister, but when I'm reading about Teddy's plot line, I'm like, yeah. Right. Give me something more interesting. But I think that also, I think it is true that when we talk about romantic relationships, that it can, I think that men can have sexual issues as a consequence of anxiety, or a consequence of lack of connection, or a consequence of being burned out by stressors in their life. He has a super stressful job and life challenges that create a burden on him. And I think so again, I felt like the pairing of those kinds of people does exist.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Mm-hmm.
Did that relationship bother you?
I mean, just because I felt like they were best friends. So I found their relationship, or the end of their relationship, to be very sad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was sad because I felt like they just kind of walked away from each other.
Do you think that happens where you have best friends where the sex isn't working out, and then you just go, you know what, let's just step out of the relationship because the sex isn't working?
Yeah.
I think it does happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. But I guess I'm wondering, the reason why I'm asking the question is, does that make you then distressed?
I mean, it's sad for me. I feel like that's sad because they've raised 3 daughters together. They're just kind of letting it go.
You're so sweet. I feel like you feel everything so much. You know that they're fake characters, right?
I know. Well, and then the other thing that was crazy is all these women are sleeping with the hockey coach so that their kids make the team.
Yes.
Or not just that their kids make the team, but that they wanted a specific coach. So that's how they lured the coach in, was to sleep with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I find that crazy.
That I found to be like the least realistic to me. I can't imagine a hockey coach of 12-year-olds getting tail because he's going to play a 12-year-old kid. You know what I mean? It felt a little bit like that. I would be surprised if parents, maybe that happens, but that seemed more of a stretch to me.
It really did. Like that seemed like a stretch. Plus, like, I spent a lot of time at the hockey rink, and it's just like really smelly. Like none of that.
Are there any of the hockey coaches that you're thinking?
They look so sweaty, and I just know so smelly. So yeah.
Okay. What if, is there any volunteer dad coaches
in the story? Yeah,
someone's saying, Jillian was saying, well, what about volunteer dad coaches? Maybe there's some hot ones of those. I was a volunteer dad coach.
Mostly me as a volunteer mom coach.
Mm-hmm. I hope you don't ever get propositioned. And but I never got propositioned as a volunteer dad coach.
You know, I not one time did. Not once.
I think I would be jealous though if the other volunteer dad coaches got propositioned. Wait, come on. All right, go ahead. Who else do we have here?
Mm-hmm. Do you think Enzo's coach gets propositioned?
I don't. I would be very surprised. But it's funny. Our son is on a team where the coach is fantastic, and he does, like, he's really wonderful, and he does every Sunday he does a pickup game where everybody from the community comes in
and everyone wants to be on his team.
There's like 28 kids maybe that are there, and everybody that's not on the team is like
trying to get on
the team. And so there are a lot of people after the practice like, how you this is wonderful. Thank you. I doubt it, but it would be funny.
That would be really funny. What if we found that out?
I really think that's not happening. All right, that's Charlie. He's the fun-loving hockey coach. What other characters we have here?
His girlfriend is Katie.
Yep.
Who trauma background, raised by her teacher who then died.
Yes.
Also a teacher, also enjoyed sex with multiple people.
Came from a chaotic background. Her way of feeling empowered, her way of being in control was through sex.
Right.
Super common, like, character. That could have happened. You could have a traumatic background and you get out of it, and your way of maintaining control over other people is through sex. So you have Charlie, who is apparently quite the lover in the book.
Oh, yeah.
And so is Katie.
He's the hockey coach.
He's the hockey coach. And he puts the woman's needs first. That's why he's a great lover. Right?
I don't remember that part.
I think you didn't read this in detail enough.
There's certain details you focused on. Okay. And then there's the detective that just was trying to retire and wanted to move to this sleepy high-end town. What did you think about the New Bethlehem, the town?
I think I would like to live in it. I think I would like to live in a town. Well, because first of all, there's not only, I think I would like to live in like a community. I don't think we live in Denver. I don't know that I feel like I guess we have with our friends, we have a community, but like, I don't feel like it's small enough that we don't know everybody that we're going to meet at Starbucks that day.
No.
Right. I think it's alluring to me because I grew up in a very small town in Colorado. I grew up in a town called Monument, super small, where you did have, if you went to Safeway, you're going to see people that you knew. And I kind of like that idea of New Bethlehem. What did you think?
Well, it just seemed like no one really liked each other. So I felt like it didn't turn, that community part of it wasn't interesting to me. And we have friends here, part of like the pool scene is really in, which I'm envious of.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they all really like each other either. I feel like it's like they're like snarky. That's how I feel about this.
One thing that I thought was not realistic, and it's funny because I don't know if James Frey has kids or not, but these people all operated outside of the relationships with their kids' friends' parents. Like, I feel like now that we have kids, I feel like most of my social time is with the parents of my kids' friends. And then we have to like vet, okay, my kid likes this kid. Do I like the parents? And that's we gotta like,
it's gotta be a good
always
match.
like, is this a good fit?
Yeah.
Right? Whereas these people are all friends outside of their kids. I think that's not realistic. I think that most people in our age group and their age group it's more kid based than this.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? So we talked about it, and then Allison was, so anyway, so these are all the characters. They get repaired up for the swinger party. So they show up to the swinger party, and two of the people, so it's Grace and Belle, set up this. Is it Grace and Belle? Are that the right ones? Yeah. No, it's Devin and Belle, I think, that set up this party, and they've intentionally paired people up. So you show up and they give you a card and it says, go wait in the room and so-and-so, your selected person will show up. And then you spend a lot of time trying to figure out which of our friends would attend a party like that. A lot of judgment.
Then Allison was
then Allison texted everybody,
I didn't get a good response.
Yeah, I think people thought you were a lunatic.
I think they might have thought I was inviting them to a party.
I don't think that anybody thought you were inviting them.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe.
You know who we didn't talk about was Grace and Alex.
We did. Okay. Oh, Grace and Alex. So Grace is like a really sweet character, and her husband is well endowed and a
ex-NFL player,
former athlete, but he's an addict. So, it seems like a bad pairing. It seems like you have a a submissive wife and an asshole, super arrogant husband they call him Alexander the Great. He's a great athlete, and his package is also great.
Yeah.
Right.
He also like loses his job in the book.
Yes.
And
this is a spoiler alert.
Loses his job and then decides to blow all of his savings.
I think don't say that very ending, right?
Okay. But aren't we doing a book club right now?
I guess we can. Do we just tell?
He loses all his money. So he loses his job, spends all his money on drugs and prostitutes. And then his saving grace was he was going after Devin in the book, which is Billy McAllister's wife, because they were so rich, and he thought if he could woo her, then she would save him.
Yes. Or she would save him financially, or he could just steal enough money from her, enough stuff from her to be able to save himself.
Yeah. So.
And he was eventually the one.
Which I think was a strategy. Like, I think he was used not only for his package, but also he was like used, and I don't know if you think this, but I think Devin used him. Like he thought he was using her, but she was using him.
Yes.
All the way through. She had a plan.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the question.
Okay.
Would you have a swingers party?
I would not.
Me neither.
I've got lots of reasons why I would not.
Okay.
I think, and I did this is what I think. I think the data would show that there's no difference in longevity of relationships if it's a if it's an open marriage or if it's a closed marriage. Equally successful. So just having an open marriage on its own is not necessarily bad. It is really bad if you feel in any way forced into it. So if both parties aren't equally into it and one pushes for it, it's a disaster. That's the first thing. The second thing is, however your marriage starts is typically how it's going to roll forward successfully. So if you try to pivot halfway through and go like, things aren't working, let's go try this new thing, it's probably swinging or opening your marriage. I think the research is pretty light on that working. I think it doesn't work. So I would look at it like, I don't think it's a good answer. And I think that our relationship is not worth, it's working. So why fuck with it? Or why mess with it? That's a big decision that people make when they're like, oh, let's just do something radically different in our marriage. And it's like, why would you put all that you have at risk for a sick party? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think so the answer is no.
I don't
have eyes for another. What are you gonna say? Would you do it? Do you have a reason? Do you have reasons?
I'm just not interested in that.
You have to give us.
I don't know. I feel like I just don't want to. I don't know what the reasoning is.
I would also be very concerned about germs.
Are you? Because you leave popsicle sticks everywhere.
That's different. STDs and popsicle sticks are different. But if you think about like who would show up to the party, they're probably not as. My bias would say that they're not as STI conscious as I would like them to be.
What do you think about the invites?
You don't want to say anything. You don't have any other. That's all you.
Yeah. No? What do you think?
What? Okay. Let's have a book club strategy session. If you ask me a question, you have to also answer the question in a comprehensive way. You can't say, what are all the reasons why you don't want to do a swingers party? And I give 3 reasons or 4 reasons, and you just go, oh, I just wouldn't do it. Move on. Next question. No, this is not a question and answer.
I'm just not interested in it.
Can you say why?
I just feel like there's so many dynamics. Like, I don't know what to say. Right. But what do you think of the invitation? How it's like a cryptic dinner party invitation. Would you, if you got an invitation like that, would you know that it was one?
No. No, I probably wouldn't read it. You'd have to read it. I think both of us would probably.
We'd probably show up and be totally confused.
Yeah, like, what is going on here?
If we showed up and we were both confused, How would we exit?
How would we exit? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we just be like, this is not what we're looking for. It's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Apparently the sign for a swinger party, I'm looking at Julian's comment here. A sign for a swingers party is the garage door partially left open.
Oh my gosh, David
I
did
think
that
we
and
do
our
that
bikes got
yeah,
stolen.
our bikes got stolen. That guy may have came in for a swingers party and left with bikes.
I find both repulsive. Okay. Okay. Well,
any other comments about this one?
were there any characters that you strongly disliked in the book?
I thought Billy was a bad guy, but I liked reading about Billy.
Which is the one you strongly disliked?
I thought that Teddy was boring.
Mm-hmm.
I disliked reading about Teddy, but he's probably the best guy in the book. And I thought Billy was the best to read, but the worst person.
Yeah. What about for the females?
I found the females honestly less interesting. Really, I thought that the character development on the females, I probably liked Anna, the housekeeper, the best. You know, because she wasn't a super privileged person, but she was navigating this super rich world. But she was good. I thought that who was the one that was I'm trying to space on her name. Katie, the one that had been like abused and
Was a teacher.
Is probably the other one that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was good.
I did not like Billy. He was scary to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's someone that's like a total narcissist. I also didn't like Alex at all.
No, I thought
I
Alex
felt like Alex was like emotionally immature and
yeah.
When did you realize that Devin McAllister was using Alex?
Really late. Really late. I thought I knew who killed I knew who killed Billy.
Who?
The
How did
maid.
you?
I thought the maid killed Billy. And I thought I figured that out, but I didn't know that it was part of this whole strategy. I didn't know that Devin was manipulating Alex the whole time. So I was slow on the uptake. And when you were reading it, I read it and I was like, oh, look how clever I am. I figured this out. And it was like, whatever, you know, 2/3 of the way through the book when I figured it out. And you figured it out like halfway through the book, much more than I did. And I was like, oh, shit, she's more perceptive than I am.
Yeah. I thought it was weird that she didn't include Belle, who was her supposed best friend in the whole plan. Like Belle never knew.
But what was the value of why would you tell Belle?
It's her best friend.
All right. I think do you want to do some let's respond to some comments. And if people have questions about this book or other things, I'm reading. I think we were talking about a book that no one's read.
Oh.
Unless you have other questions.
I mean, I have other questions, but we can just talk because I do feel like our members did not read this book.
All right. Okay. I got some things here. First of all, somebody said that I was not tough I was easy on the eyes. Hold on. I really appreciate this. Sam, thank you. This is a good question, Sam. Do you get propositioned as a psychologist and how do you handle it? You're charming and not hard on the eyes. Thank you, Sam. No, I've never been proposition. I'm trying to think of it in what capacity. I never get propositioned, but I think that you run a risk as a therapist of seeming like a better guy than you really are, because as a therapist, your whole role, or as a coach, your big part of your role is to listen and be empathetic and supportive and caring and super validating. And that like stance, I think that people find that attractive. So I think you run the risk of coming across like you're infallible. And if they knew all of who you were, they would want nothing to do with you. So I don't know. I've never been in proposition, but I have felt like, and people have said, oh, I wish my husband was like that. And I'm like, well, I'm not like that, right? I'm like that in this hour, but I'm not like that all the time. I think that's where, what are you laughing at?
Just the analysis that you're giving.
Is that wrong?
No, that's accurate.
What are you laughing at? You have to say all your words. You can't just.
Well, I think it's true. Like if you were giving someone who's paying you their undivided attention for that 45 minutes, but if they had to.
If what? They had to deal with the real me.
Yeah.
I give you undivided attention. See, so you can see that my own wife doesn't feel like I'm as good at that as maybe I should be.
True.
All right,
I do love you though. You are good sometimes.
Okay, what other questions do we have here? Any other questions? Put the questions in the comments here.
Or put in some books that you think we would be interested in reading as a summer read, because I don't think David's book was a hit.
But I liked it so much better than reading all the other self-help stuff.
Health books.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we're good on this one now. Good?
Yeah.
If you are part of the contingent that likes Sister Wives, I just want to sort of remind you that we have a members only part of the channel, and every week Alice and I are uploading 1 or 2 reactions to the old Sister Wives episodes. So we're on season 1, episode 5 or 6 right now.
And we are going to read Christine's book. And
we will read Christine's book. And we also need to do a much better job of marketing when we're doing these things. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you all for listening. Have a good night.